Canada invented the Blue Box, the first curbside recycling programs launched in Ontario 3 decades ago. Problem is, recycling technology hasn't kept up with our lifestyles. For example, we used to throw out a lot of bottles, cans, and newspapers. Now, blue bins are brimming with plastic that's expensive and sometimes impossible to recycle. Some of that plastic gets sorted and sent to landfills, but a lot is shipped overseas. China used to be the biggest importer of recyclables, but then in January it said no more. Sasha Petrusik shows us why.
The plastic flies in the village of Luqiao. Great sheets of it once used for wrapping. Huge compressed blocks of old shopping bags fill every corner of the local recycling center. It's one of a growing number of such plants sprinkled throughout rural China, this one near Shanghai, all part of a government plan designed to clean up the world's biggest pile of waste that's been building across the country for decades. Local habits are partly to blame. People are used to just throwing things away, says Huang Yingying, the plant manager. We're telling them to recycle, to stop with the trash. But North America and Europe have been even bigger culprits.
China was taking in about half the world's unwanted paper and plastic when it decided it didn't want to be the global garbage dump. Some 20,000 tons of it was arriving here every single day. It was a cheap and easy solution for the developed world, including Canada, but it was a growing environmental problem for China.
Districts like Guiyu became notorious for electronic waste, for instance. Thousands of small family-run workshops recycled computers without any real system to dispose of the waste. It was a well-meaning way to deal with global e-garbage, but out of control, it turned toxic, tainting water and soil with heavy metals. In local children, medical researchers found widespread lead poisoning. Guiyu has been cleaning up slowly, but other areas have not. There still isn't an effective waste management system.
China needs to speed up their actions to set up the system rapidly, right? But so far, no more very big change.
Greenpeace says China's plan to limit foreign waste is a chance to set up a cleaner, more regulated system. In the meantime, though, foreign bans are causing problems here, too. Ironically, a shortage of waste. The cheap materials gleaned from recycling have become an integral part of China's production chain. Turned into low-cost plastic hangers, kids' toys, and luxury car parts. But with less foreign recycling, the raw material is now scarcer. In Beijing, the biggest bottle recycler uses vending machines to collect used plastic, paying people about half a cent for every bottle they bring. But when the machines are opened, they're largely empty. People just don't bring all the bottles we need, says Feng Juan. We can recycle 50,000 tons a year, but can only collect about 30,000. Over time, that is likely to change as China's urban middle class grows, consuming more and likely recycling more, replacing the developed world's waste with waste of its own. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Shanghai.
One of the big questions now is, what does the developed world do with all that waste that it used to send to China? Turns out here in Canada, many municipalities are stockpiling materials because they have nowhere to send them. Kayla Hounsell has that part of the story.
In Nova Scotia's Colchester County, plastics are the problem. Heaps and piles of them stacking up. Things like shopping bags, bread bags, and the wrapping on toilet paper. There's nowhere to send them.
It's a big problem, but we're actively seeking solutions.
It started when China began banning or seriously restricting foreign waste. This facility brings in more than 10,000 tons of recyclables a year. It was sending 40% of that to China, and Colchester is not alone. Municipalities across North America have been stockpiling recyclables. Some material has started moving over the past couple of months, mostly to Asian markets, but at lower prices.
The reason we have this challenge is because we generate so much waste. And when I say waste, I mean that in the broadest sense of the word, both waste and recyclables.
Here in Colchester County, they've accumulated so much film plastic, they've run out of places to store it. It's been sitting outside here for about a month now. The concern is that it could degrade beyond the point where it can be recycled. If that happens, there'll be no other choice but to bury it here at the landfill. Nova Scotia is the only province in Canada in which it's actually illegal to dump plastics in a landfill. So if it comes to that, Colchester will have to ask the province for a special permit. Halifax, which was also stockpiling plastics, has since found new markets for its material, but won't say where.
If Halifax ships 1,000 tons to one facility, if that name gets out, another municipality might call and say, we'll pay you an extra $2 a ton to take our material, and then Halifax has no spot to put our material.
Some municipalities are also considering plastic bag bans.
Montreal's recently done it, Victoria's done it, Boston just recently did it. There are actually whole countries. Costa Rica's thinking of doing a countrywide ban.
The challenges resulting from China's decision mean the British Columbia model is becoming increasingly attractive. Plastics are processed in province and they make producers pay.
Retailers, food manufacturers, quick service restaurants as examples, are actually responsible for paying the costs of managing their packaging at the end of life. And so that means they pay fees to Recycle BC, and on their behalf, we use those fees to not only pay for the management of the program, but we're actually actively involved in directly managing the program ourselves.
As municipalities continue to look for solutions, David Biederman says he expects Canadians and Americans will end up paying more for recycling. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Kemptown, Nova Scotia.